What's up, everybody? Welcome back to JnL Garage. Today I'm going to be throwing some new blocks under the Dodge because the spring suspensions did an awesome job on this thing, but I mean it's just not sitting how I like it. Still just a little bit high in the back, so I got some 1-inch blocks that came in today from Amazon that I'm going to throw under here, see if it'll level it on out. JP's not here with me today. He's actually going to work. And so we're going to see if we can get the Dodge leveled out. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to be getting the tires and wheels off both back sides. This is going to be kind of like an informational video, but it's really just me here tonight, so I'm probably going to goof off a whole lot. Okay, so I got the wheel and tire off, and I've already started taking the U-bolts off. I know we skipped this part in putting the actual lift kit on the Dodge, so I figured I'd go over this part really easy, or really quick. I mean, it's super easy. All it is it's these U-bolts come with the kit, nut and washer and everything. And so then all you got to do is, as you can see, the U-bolt wraps around the rear end, comes up through the plate that holds on to the top of the leaf pack. And mine's a 7/8. It might be different on some of the newer ones. They may have changed it over to a better design or something like that, but mine's a 7/8. Loosen it up, and then if you've got it, make sure you jack up the rear end. And I made sure to put jack stands under there, safety first, you know, stuff like that. And then go ahead and break them loose, and then once you break them loose, they should get pretty easy to undo after a couple of rounds, unless you've got a whole bunch of dirt and stuff in them that you just haven't cleaned it, you know, or something like that. Mine was pretty easy though. I just went 2 or 3 rounds with the wrench, and then unscrewed it with my hand from there. And so once I do this, I'll go ahead and undo the shock from the bottom on the rear end, and then from there I'll go ahead and do the other side the exact same way, and then I'll get back to you guys about how to do the rest of it. Okay, just got the U-bolts off on both sides. Both shocks are detached. Sorry, let me turn that music down. Trying to think. Okay, for sure what we have to look for is watch for your brake lines. Make sure whenever what we're fixing to do is get a hold of the jack and just ease the rear end down really slowly, just as slow as you can, until you see that the leaf packs are completely extended and no pressure is on the rear end or those blocks at all. And once you have it down to there, then you can take that block off, slide the new one on, line it back up, put it back in place. But you really have to watch for these brake lines. Since we didn't get to go over any of that in the first video on putting this lift kit on, I really need to stress it because it's something you really have to watch. Because if you mess up a brake line trying to put these blocks on, next thing you know, you're running into all kinds of troubles. You've got to buy a new brake line, possibly a longer one, so that way if you're putting a tall enough block on here, then you don't have to worry about all that. Because basically, if you're putting a suspension lift on these trucks, unless you have an add-a-leaf pack for these trucks, then pretty much this is all you're going to do for the back, except for instead of it being a 1.5-inch block in the back, it'll be like a 5-inch or a 4-inch or something like that. And then the front is really where it gets complicated on those kind of lifts. But now fixing to let this down, slide this block out, slide the new one back in, keep a good eye on my brake lines, line it back up, jack it back up into place, put the U-bolts on, we're done. But I'm fixing to get on that, and then I'll let you guys know how it came along and let you guys know any troubles that I ran into, so that maybe you won't have to make the same mistakes. Okay, so one problem that I ran into that you guys should probably really look for is I had my jack stands placed way too far forwards. I didn't even think about it. Stupid mistake on my part. But as you can see, the shocks are unloaded now, and the blocks are a little bit, you can't really see the gap because I don't have enough lighting in here. for the camera. But the blocks are slightly unloaded now, so all I gotta do is drop it down another inch or two and then knock those blocks out and hopefully put the new blocks on and jack it right back up into place. I hope I don't have any alignment issues, but as you can kind of see, all my brake hoses and brake lines have plenty of slack in them. I made sure not to get any of them tight. I want plenty of room to be able to move these blocks around, but I don't want to stress out my brake hoses. Make sure you don't do that. And it would be best to do something like this on maybe an empty tank of gas. I just filled my gas tank up today, which was a rather unsmart move on me, because now all that weight is at the back of the truck. Now most of the weight is at the front because of the engine, which really holds it down, but with the frames that are under my truck, it really takes a steep curve about 3/4 through the back door. This is a quad cab, but so it's really hard to find a good jack stand position, especially if you have short jack stands like what I got. But you just slide it back as far as you can and then make do with it from there. So now I'm fixing to get these new blocks on and hopefully do the exact opposite of all these steps and get it put right back together, and hopefully Reba's going to be looking a lot better. Alright, so got the new blocks on. There's pretty much, you just do the exact opposite of the steps that we've done before. Go ahead, line the rear end up, get both of the pegs in the holes, make sure the leaf pack lines up with it. Reattach your shocks, make sure you jack it up enough to where it's not going to overstress the shocks. Shocks can go just as bad as brake lines whenever you overstress them and try to make them hold the weight of the rear end up. So U-bolts are reinstalled, shocks are back tightened. And as of right now, the next thing to do is to put the wheels and tires back on this thing, jack it up, get the jack stands out from under it, and then sit her down and see how she looks. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so Dodge is finished up. Lug nuts are tight. It's back on the ground. She is about as level as she can get. I was trying to find our level to throw on here just to see how level it is, because this concrete is supposed to be perfectly level. And I mean, to have 1-inch blocks under the back, I mean, Supreme Suspensions has done something that like no other company's doing right now. I'm sure there'll be more models come in later, but as of right now, this is about as good as it's going to get. I mean, you've got all kinds of lift kits out there for these trucks, 4 to 5 inches, you know. I mean, 3 inches is a perfect ride for me, because I don't want anything super tall, because I'm not a really big guy myself. And, you know, at the same time, I don't want to be sitting stock, and I don't want to just level my truck out. I'd like to be able to fit 35s under this thing. That's what I'm pushing for. But she's back on the ground. Nothing has fell apart yet. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks nice sitting there, because she was still grandpawing real hard before now. But hopefully now she'll be okay. So we're going to strap up, get everything put up, and then I am going to head out and go get me something to eat from somewhere. Maybe the house, maybe a local restaurant, I don't know yet, but definitely gonna find me something. And you guys stay tuned next time for some more JnL Garage. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And we're always trying to put up some more videos for you guys. Here lately we've had a whole bunch of downtime, but we kind of spent up our money real fast, didn't have time to recuperate. And so now it's hopefully all downhill from here, just awesome progression. And yeah, from here we're hoping to see a whole bunch of changes to Reba and Selena. And we're gonna try and get these trucks sitting nice. I think the S10's going for a real lowered. I think he's going for a drift look, honestly. So I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people out there that would enjoy to, love to see that. And I couldn't help it. I looked at it a whole lot after he kind of mentioned it and realized, man, I wouldn't mind having one myself. So we're hopefully going to be scrounging up some small, regular cab, non-extended bed trucks. So if you guys know any out there for a decent price, it doesn't have to be running, but it doesn't need to be just junk. Body can have damage and stuff like that. I mean, it's just going to be a track truck. So, but as of right now, these are the show trucks, and then hopefully I'm going to get something we can beat up and tear around on here coming up, so that way we can get some more amusement for you guys. But thanks for tuning in at JnL Garage.